Welcome to Executive Checkpoint, the live podcast for security professionals. Each week, we explore industry trends, challenges, and insights with leading experts. This is your insider access to the minds driving change in our industry.
Welcome to Executive Checkpoint, where security professionals gather insight to navigate the dynamic and ever-evolving world of physical and cybersecurity. I'm your host, Tino Urbina, and today we have the privilege of speaking to Martin Gross, CEO of Command Group. He's a global leader in security communication systems with a background in engineering, leadership, and passion for accessible design. Martin has spearheaded Command's transformation, integrating AI, embracing inclusive communication technologies, and expanding their global impact in critical infrastructure environments. So today, Martin will share his leadership journey, the innovative spirit behind Command's award-winning solutions, and his vision for the future of security intelligent communication. So Martin, it's a true honor and pleasure to have you in the show. It's been a minute we've been talking about it, so glad to have you. So how are you?
Very well. Thanks for having me. My pleasure. Doing well. I hope you're doing well too.
Right. So Martin, as always, we want to make sure we understand your journey. So starting from the beginning, can you share a little bit how you get started in the industry, or what was the motivation?
Basically, or let's my base education is I'm an engineer, so I have an engineering degree in electronics and mechanical engineering. But to be honest, I never worked as an engineer. So my first path took me through sales, and I arrived at Command 20 years ago, and basically, I sat on almost every chair there is, except of bookkeeping, meaning my entry point was on the product management, project management side. On different stages, I was responsible for production and all the logistic part, due to HR, marketing. So basically everything at one point over those first 13 years with Command, really learned from the basis what Command is about. Parallel to that first steps in that industry, I was always very interested in leadership, and did some additional education. So I studied organizational sociology and group dynamics. So I was pretty early, I was convinced that, you can have the best technicians, you can have the best strategy, but what makes you succeed or fail are the people within it, and not the things on the PowerPoint. Or to quote Mr. Drucker, I think everybody knows that quote, culture eats strategy for breakfast.
I like that. Well, is there any formative moments that lead you first to engineering and then maybe in your professional side of career to Command?
Yeah, that's based, my love for the technical side is based in my childhood. I was really in love with airplanes from a little boy on, so I was interested. I built little models with little engines in it. They got bigger and more expensive. I crashed them, I rebuilt them, I redesigned them. So I was always really interested in how machines, how things work on the engineering or technical side. So that first decision was pretty easy for me, that I want to do something in that direction. My first choice would have been what's the English word for it? Sorry for all the listeners. As you can hear, I'm not native, so sometimes I'm going to stumble a lot of words.
You and me both,
Um,
Martin. Not to worry.
yeah. So my first choice would have been designing airplanes. So, but that didn't work out just due to the distance I would have had to travel to attend that classes. And back then I was still too young to live not with my parents. So that first choice then at the age of 15, 14 was going in a different direction. And that's where I picked the mechanical engineering part and then added the electronic part to it. So what was the first thing? The first thing that brought me in touch with Technic was just my love for planes. To give a short answer to that.
Have you ever tried to get your license for? I mean, was it the plane itself or flying the plane? Because it might be two different things.
There was in the beginning. It was mainly the main thing was always the technique behind it and to design them and to build them and at that age modifying them and basically only with the aim to be faster. So I really tried to tune them up and get weight out and whatever came to my mind and experimenting with different materials. So it was always more on the building and enhancing.
Right.
But there was interest in flying as well. To be honest, I never made a license, but I had the great opportunity that the mom of my sons had a pilot's license.
All right.
So and of course you're going to turn off the recording now. I flew with her on the co-pilot seat.
Oh, there you go.
Not just with those little one engines.
Officially, not officially, right? Well, and let me ask you, kind of turn in a little bit into the professional side of things. I mean, your journey to now sit as the CEO of a global organization, I'm sure was not a simple one. What part of that journey do you feel was transformative, or was a key moment that you recall thinking, I'm here's my goal to be in the chair, or simply was that your love for leading and helping people?
It really came together, or that desire for leading people came out of that, and that it was not one epiphany. It was just it grew on me. That, like I said, I truly believe, or we truly believe in that success grows on three pillars. And that grew on me over time. And those three pillars are structure, strategy, and culture. And I figured at one point, to really have influence, you need to have the opportunity to influence those three pillars. Right. Meaning, you on the one hand side, you have to create the surrounding, the structure that it can be successful. You need to have a decent and unique vision, so strategy to it. Right. And last but not least, what I said, but who cares about structure and strategy if the culture is not supporting it? And those three pillars, from my point of view, should not only hinder each other or not being in the way of each other. They should be really accelerators for each other. So if you have an agile organization and you think you have an agile mindset and vision, but you have an org chart with 276 levels of hierarchy, that's kind of not fitting into each other. So that necessity to work on all three of those pillars grew on me, and with the wish of really being influential and develop people and develop a company, brought me to the point where I realized, I mean, I also need to do some career steps to have that opportunity.
Right. Well, and you mentioned the three pillars. Where does that concept come from? Is this something that you develop over time professionally, or this is your own? Okay, excellent.
I'm not aware that I stole it somewhere. So if so, no, that is kind of the picture that grew over time, the three pillars. Or if you saw on one of my presentations, the windmill with the three rotors, if you maybe can remember, that represents, let's say, another view of it. Those windmill with three rotors, which are strategy, structure, and culture, which are firing each other and help each other move forward and generate energy and therefore outcome.
Yeah, I love that analogy. That's a very easy analogy to understand. Without one, the mill is not gonna work properly.
And
right?
it is not. It's also in every this kind of visualization also developed, because if you do them in a triangle, you always have one on top. If you try to that's for me is the best visualization of the equality of those three elements. Not from my point of view and my experience, but also from my I truly believe those three are equally important to be successful, and therefore this visualization of that windmill with nobody being on top, nobody being more important, having a bigger pie chart, or even coloring them, and colors do different give different meanings. So that visualization one day popped up.
Right. Well, and let me ask you, some of the things that I feel are very keen in leadership is bringing new technologies and, bringing the organization along with that technology. Seems like the inclusivity in design that Command brings to communication is very keen, and it seems accessible to pretty much all technologies, right? AI, I'm sure, plays a role in that new technology and bringing engineering and culture. How does the impact of AI? What's the impact of AI, you think, from your perspective in the industry?
AI will have a huge impact, as so many big technology steps have. So I do think AI is just the next big technology step. But if you look backwards, I mean, and that is, you just stop me when I'm talking to you.
No, please. This is
but if you go,
review, yeah, of course.
So if you go back, and Command is there since more than 50 years now, so 54 years, and those innovative mindset that drive and desire of always being the most innovative company, at least in our niche, also goes through those steps. So meaning those big technology steps. If you look back, early 80s, we had the first CMOS microprocessors in our industry, made use of them. Early 90s, we brought the digital era to the control desk. In the early 2000s, we were the first one in our industry with IP technology. In the early 2010s, we were the first one with a virtuosis, with the virtualization. And so it's just natural, I would even say, that in the early 2000s, we also took advantage of this next step, the AI wave that is coming. And that is also the balance you have to strike, I think, with these technology steps, because technology, in the end of the day, for me and for the mindset of Command, is only the vehicle, the vehicle you use to generate solutions that helps a customer.
Right. So customer first, customer centric.
It's customer centric, and it is really just the adaptation to new technologies. And the next technology step always gives you more opportunities, gives you more things to embrace and do for your customer. So I would even say it should be natural to be always on top of the technology, but there is something after AI as well. So for me, even maybe it's a big step. And what do I expect from it? Of course, a lot. But the same goes for I expected a lot of the change to IP.
Right.
Not less, not
Right.
less. And the same when we went from analog to digital. I mean, that were huge steps as well. So AI will
It's
just
always like you're going to have competing concepts, right? At least at the time, IP and analog were some resistance from the market that now is just totally normal, and in fact, it's legacy now. So
and
I think AI is in that
yeah,
process. So
it's the same.
for some companies, I guess the concept of AI seems to me then is something that is common, and I feel that you're leading a company that is presently an innovative or leading force when it comes to utilization in the communication platform. So kudos to you guys and the technical team of the company. I do want to ask a little bit of wisdom from your side of the equation. Of course, someone has led change in a global scale. What's one of those leadership lessons that stay with you through highs and lows?
Especially regarding to the international development, you mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you lead a global group, so what are
there is one thing I can't emphasize more. You have to make a choice where you want to have your cultural scene. So from my point of view, I have to choose, do I want to have the cultural difference between me and my managing director in the country? Or as many companies do, they put, I could also put an Austrian as an MD to the US. So I make a choice I make the choice, where do I want to have that cultural scene? Do I want it to have between me and my MD, or my MD and the employees and the colleagues in the country? And other than a lot of other international companies, I truly believe that scene should be between me and my MD, not the MD and his local staff. Right. So cultural differences and the management of international cultural different teams is more or less one of the most challenging thing. And the most important decision on that one, point blank, is where do you want to have the break in the culture?
Right. Because there's the point where you still have to bring it home, right?
Yes.
An alignment with the mothership, right?
Yeah, true. And I rather have an MD who is on the same cultural level than everybody else in that country, and I have to gap that bridge. Then I have an easy way to an Austrian sitting in US, because that's easier for me, of course.
Right.
But he has then the cultural gap towards everybody else working in the States.
It's true. So what are the things that you feel make a leader or a strong leader? I mean, with your colleagues and maybe other CEOs that you might network, what are those characteristics that you find define that leader as a good leader?
Authenticity, honesty, a clear desire to win, communication skills, and most of all, the ability to take himself not too important.
Right. I think they're valid, and I'm not sure if they're uniquely European per se, but you and I had this conversation before where sometimes it feels, at least in the US, you have this idea of leadership of the strong man. And to me, what you define as a good leader is exactly, no matter where you are in the world, that authenticity and almost willingness to be humble and learn is a big part of being a good rounded leader. So I agree, and I'm sure our audience will agree then that those are very well defined parts of what is a good leader. Now, in the flip side of that, what are the things that you definitely prefer not to engage with a company or an organization or a leader that is going to be detrimental in that leadership role? What are the negatives that you will recommend someone avoiding? Someone looking to move in that direction. What are the things that you will stay away from?
Clearly, micromanagement. Find the people you trust. If you think you are the smartest, you will not be a good leader.
Right.
And avoid dishonesty as much as possible. Self-interest. If you're really highly only self-interested, you will not be a great leader. And an important thing is, it doesn't matter if you're a high performer. I would never accept a toxic high performer.
That's so key, right? I think there's a trade-off some companies make to keep those people leading because they bring up their cancers, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's look ahead, right? Where do you see the future of security communications hitting? I mean, especially with, like we said, emerging technologies, AI, 5G, IoT.
Well, I mean, it's security industry, as many are in a huge transformation. I mean, digitalization, but this whole transformation driven by AI, driven by cloud computing, driven by the convergence of physical and cybersecurity.
Right.
So hybrid solutions will be a big thing, and in the end of the day, it will be a lot, or what the main drivers will be data generating, data gathering, interpreting it, and really giving the customer the advantage of learning every day what he could do better.
Right. But by leveraging these technologies, is that what I understand?
Again?
By leveraging those technologies,
yes.
technologies, of course.
Technology should be always just a tool. So if you start making the mistake of not thinking anymore, right. Technology will just run over you. Use technology to your advantage, but the higher the grade on technology, the more emphasis switch on the brain.
Right. It seems such a simple thing, and I feel not generational, but you see more and more people starting to look for that authentic relationship conversation. I think we're going to revert in one point of time to be more willing to be engaged on a one-on-one basis, right? To learn versus the AI just giving us or fitting information.
Yeah.
Well, what would be the one piece of advice you will give to yourself early, if you can go back and talk to Martin early in that career, based on what you know today? What advice would you give them, or your kids, whichever one is?
Have more patience with yourself and everybody else. It took me some way, that would be, I would have more patience with yourself. If you and I named it. I mean, being driven and wanting to win is really a key element to be successful, also as a leader. But on the other hand, you can't force it. Some things you can't force. So I would have loved to learn to be more patient early in my career.
Right. I think we can. A lot of us can relate to that. And last question. Obviously, you're leading a large organization. Is there an upcoming event that, if anyone wants to engage in a future conversation about leadership, you will be participating? What's the best time to reach you? And
I will be the next time. I will be latest at GSX next year. This year.
Oh, this year. Perfect.
So I will be in the States at least for the GSX in New Orleans. So more than happy to share thoughts, because and I always like to listen more than I talk, because I want to learn as well. So feel free to approach me, but also be prepared. I'm going to ask some questions because I want to learn something as well.
Absolutely. Well, Martin, this has been fast and furious. I think we could have extended this for another hour. But want to thank you for participating in the Executive Checkpoint, and to the audience watching and listening, thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing everyone on GSX with Martin, and we'll see you in the next Checkpoint.
Thank you. Thank you, Tino. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
Absolutely.